Hello, everybody, and welcome to our October edition of the Personal Peace Procedure Wednesdays with Wonderland Free Community Tapping Circle. We kind of voted a little bit on some different emotional themes that came up, but I tried to kind of pull those threads together. And what came from that is the freeze response. So that's what we're going to tap on today. We have these trauma responses, these fight, flight, freeze, fawn. I'm sure there are even more than that, but those are the ones that we kind of focus on. And this freeze response has been coming up in my practice and also for other people, just potentially as a result of things that are happening in the world or feeling like they can't move forward in the direction that they want to with their life. So that's what we're going to be tapping on today. But before we get into that, I did just want to announce to you guys that you should definitely keep an eye on your inbox because I will be sharing a special opportunity to do some deep work with me at some really discounted rates. So my rates will be going up January 1st, but I'm on the path to become a master trainer of EFT. And as I do that, I'll be submitting session notes to my mentor for review. And as a reward for your consent for me to share those session notes, I will be offering huge discounts on my 4 session bundles. So after I send out this replay, probably tomorrow to my entire mailing list, I'll be sharing information on how you can work with me for a 4 session bundle at a deeply discounted rate. So stay tuned to your inbox about that. All right, so the freeze response, that protective state where the body shuts down to keep us safe. And it can look like paralysis, it can look like numbness. That's how it shows up for me, where I'm just a little zombified, not really tuning into much of anything, not feeling spikes of joy or depths of sorrow, just kind of numb, just floating through life. It can also result in procrastination, disconnection, as someone sharing right now, avoidance for sure. That feeling of being stuck. So many of us experience that. I'm just stuck. That's often a manifestation of the freeze response. So, what we're working on today is getting to the place where we can maybe see it as not a failure. Maybe seeing it as your body's intelligent way of saying, I don't feel safe enough to move yet. So today, through our tapping, we will gently signal to the nervous system that it's safe to thaw, potentially that it will feel safe to be here, safe to feel, safe to move from shutdown to aliveness and agency. So some of you are sharing right now in the chat how that shows up for you. Inability to make decisions. It's just too overwhelming. There's too many options. I just can't decide, so I'm just not going to. I'm just going to put it off or I'm going to put it onto someone else to make the decision. Someone else is sharing, I just like to take a nap when I feel stuck. I just stop everything and let my body take a nap, which can absolutely be a good thing. But if you have a goal that needs to, be accomplished in a short amount of time, it may not be in service for us to freeze in that way. Doom scrolling for a dopamine hit. Absolutely. That is a huge, huge manifestation of the freeze response. And then just maybe apathy or resignation. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I get it done. It doesn't matter if I respond. It doesn't matter if I make that decision. So, yeah, these are all really wonderful examples. Thank you to everyone who's live here for sharing how that shows up for you. So, as you're feeling into that, and if you have your journal, your personal peace, oh, I forgot to put into the chat your personal peace procedure worksheet. So, let me just grab that really quickly from my computer if you guys don't already have it. You can get to a specific event or a specific time. It could be a series of events or a composite event. Whenever this happens, I often freeze. So for those of you that are live, you can get that from the chat. For those of you watching the recording, you can get that from the portal. And that's the point of us meeting here is so that we can work on different events in our personal peace procedure. So go ahead and just tune into your body. Tune into your breath. Tune into your feet on the ground. Notice your body sensations and then sense into your current state of freeze. So these are questions I'd love for you to ask yourself in this moment. Where do I feel frozen in life right now? And what does it feel like in my body when I'm stuck or numb or frozen? So, in other words, how do you know when your system is in freeze? And then, if you can think of how frozen you feel in that area of your life right now, it may be how shut down you feel, how heavy you feel, how numb you feel. Yeah, and someone sharing how close to tears you may feel all the time. How strong is your desire to doom scroll in order to avoid that feeling? Yeah, finding unimportant things to take up time to make me feel that I'm busy because I'm frozen from doing those other things in my life that I have as goals. Distractions, yeah. Someone's already sharing their ways of dealing with it in a positive way. I create crafts or artwork to activate my nervous system. So keep that in mind as a resource for yourself, unless that becomes a distraction from the things that you also want to be doing in your life. Feeling separate and alone, pressure in my pelvis and feeling rigid, like I have to push me to move forward. It's painful. Ugh, all of that we're going to tap on. How painful this freeze response is, how going into flow shouldn't feel like we have to force ourselves, but sometimes it does. So, yeah, tuning into that heaviness, that stuckness, that distraction, that shutdownness, that numbness. We always have to get a SUD, our subjective unit of distress. In this moment, how high is that for you on a scale from 0 to 10? How frozen do you feel in this area of your life right now, in this moment? Yeah, thick boards down my arms so I can't move. That heaviness, heavy, heavy, heavy stuckness. Beautiful. And if there's a particular time in the past week, in the past month, where you really felt that pressure in your pelvis or those thick boards in your arms, get that vivid re-exposure going back in your brain by bringing yourself back into that moment. And we'll go ahead and get started tapping on the side of the hand, remembering that if anything that I say does not resonate with you, please change it so that it does. And if for any reason you can't say these words out loud, you can say them in your head. But if you have the safety and the privacy to say them out loud, I highly encourage you. Relaxing your tongue on the floor of your mouth and beginning with just a nice, gentle, cleansing breath. Even though I feel frozen and disconnected, that's just where I'm at right now. And even though I cannot seem to move forward, this is what's happening for me. And even though my body feels stuck, I'm acknowledging the truth of the moment. Good. Top of the head. This frozen feeling in my body. Eyebrow. It's like everything just shuts down. Side of the eye. I can't move. I can't think. under the eye, and my energy disappears. Under the nose, my mind goes blank. Under the mouth, my system says, don't move, it's not safe. Collarbone, maybe I don't need to fight this right now. Under the arm, maybe I can just acknowledge it's here. Good. Let's go back to the side of the hand and talk about the pain of being frozen. Even though I hate feeling this way, stuck and paralyzed, I deeply honor how hard this has been for me. Even though I judge myself for not doing more, I'm willing to feel what's really underneath that judgment. And even though this freeze feels like failure, I acknowledge the fear, exhaustion, and loneliness it brings. Good. Top of the head. I feel trapped in my own body. Eyebrow. Everything feels too much, so I shut down. Side of the eye. I can't seem to make myself move. Under the eye. And I hate being in this state. Under the nose. It feels like everyone else is moving forward. Under the mouth. I feel broken, disconnected, and ashamed. Collarbone. I want to move, but my system says no. Under the arm. I feel powerless and frustrated. And we'll go back to the top of the head. Like something inside me just turned off. Eyebrow. The harder I push, the more frozen I feel. Side of the eye. And it's lonely here. Under the eye. I don't know how to get out. Under the nose. And I'm scared I'll be stuck here forever. Under the mouth. Part of me may have given up hope. Collarbone. And part of me still longs for freedom. Let's just pause here and place your hands on your heart, close your eyes and tune in for a moment. Take a nice, gentle, grounding breath as you feel the honesty of everything that's happening for you right now. And naming it can often help the energy to move. So let's go ahead and name what else is going on for you guys. Tuning into your bodies, tuning into those, what were they? Thick pieces of wood, thick boards down my arms. That feeling of overwhelm, that pressure in your pelvis, noticing that, hanging on the edge. Just tuning into anything else that may be coming up for you guys. And I'm happy to roll all of that into the next round so we can really honor what this group in particular is experiencing in the freeze response. Like it won't stop and change. Like, this is it. This is where I'm at. I'm stuck. Yeah, my body no longer supports me. Yeah. Yeah. In the business, that fear of no one choosing to work with me can absolutely put you in a freeze state. Okay. So let's go ahead and do our custom round for what you guys are feeling in this group. And you can keep adding into the chat what's coming up for you. And just notice how the sensations may be moving. It doesn't mean we're shifting into a positive reframe immediately. We're not doing that aspirational stuff here. We're letting the body feel the truth of the moment and just see what it does with it. And I never cease to be amazed at what the body does with it. Even though I may be avoiding making decisions, maybe I'd rather just take a nap or doom scroll for a dopamine hit. And I can acknowledge where I'm at right now. Even though I may just want to keep myself busy or say that it doesn't matter. And it feels like I'm close to tears all the time. I honor where I'm at right now. And maybe that's all I have to do. Even though it feels like I have to push to move forward. And it also feels like I'm never going to change. I feel so heavy in my body, just hanging on the edge. And this is what's happening for me right now. Good. Top of the head. Feels like my body no longer supports me. Eyebrow. All this tension in my shoulders. Side of the eye. No wonder I feel immobilized. Under the eye. All these what ifs about my business. Under the nose. All these what ifs about my investments. Under the mouth. All these what ifs about my safety in the world. Collarbone. And these what ifs make me freeze. Under the arm. It's like part of my body is just sectioned off. And let's move to the peace points on the wrist here. Like things are just staring at me, waiting to get done. And we'll switch sides and tap the other way. And I just can't do it. We'll go to the top of the head. All the time that's been lost. Eyebrow. It makes me feel sad. Side of the eye. And then I feel totally helpless and frozen. Under the eye. All alone in my freeze. Under the nose. Breathing. One breath at a time. Under the mouth. Tuning into my body and what it needs. To feel safe. to flow. Collarbone, inviting more flow into my body right now. And let's just do that. Let's just start wiggling our fingers. Some people call these jazz hands. Just getting some jazz hands. Twist your wrist, maybe twist your elbows. Get your shoulders rolling. Good. And let's do a nice inhale as we bring the arms up overhead. Bring your palms together and then slowly allow them to come down to your chest. Just inviting a little bit of movement as we hold our hands here. Move your head back and forth, up and down. Maybe even doing some neck rolls. Just moving a little bit. Introducing some flow. Stretching however feels best for you. Good. Let's take a break, grab a sip, check in. Thank you for sharing how you were able to tune into a higher dimension that helped you get the answers that you were seeking. So I'll roll that into a reframe round, but I don't like to do that precipitously, presumptuously. I don't like to do it until we're actually feeling some shifts. So let me know what's going on. Spending the first half hour of this tapping circle doing nothing but acknowledging the truth of the moment. That's it. That's all we're doing. This is what's happening. This is my truth. This is where I'm at. And just notice what the body has done with just acknowledging that. Good. Already some more openness in my chest. Good, 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 good. It's amazing. We don't even have to come in with our affirmations. We just have to say, I see you, body. I see you. It's okay if I fall and no one's there to catch me. That's huge. That is really huge. That's like trust fall into the universe, surrender. So we've got some soreness in the throat, feeling some dread. Okay. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Dread of? Do you know what the body is dreading? Already feeling really tired and yawning. Achy in the kidneys. That's interesting, but open. Okay, good. Lots of tears. Cheeks are trembling. All right, we've got some somatic sensations. These things are all happening in the body. The kidneys, the eyes, the tear ducts, the cheeks, the yawning. The body's ready for some movement, you guys. The body doesn't want to be stuck and freeze any more than you do, but it's just protecting. That's what it's doing, and so that's what we're going to honor. Still trying to feel it in the body. Okay. Started with seeing a childhood boundary of safety drawn around me, stuck in a tight circle. Okay. So that could be a resource for you of that boundary of safety, if I'm reading that correctly. Okay. So just feeling physically ill has led to emotions such as frozen, being alone a lot, and it's helping. Good, good. I'm glad it's helping. Ready to move. All right. Okay, good. So tuning into that boundary of safety drawn around you, which I'd love to spend the next few rounds just acknowledging. All of our trauma responses are there to keep us safe. Every single one of them. Dreading taking the action and what if it all goes wrong? Okay. Yeah, that's the fear. That's the fear that's keeping you frozen. The failure that might happen, holding the responsibility of the consequences. Okay, so it's much safer to stay and freeze when that's happening. So let's just go ahead and see what recognizing the role of freeze will do for us. Just recognizing it. And with your permission, I'd love to just turn toward those frozen parts within us, those parts that are dreading, those parts that are aching, those parts that are trembling, with a little bit of tenderness instead of resistance. And I think in doing that, it'll make space for the thawing of the freeze to begin. So body shutting down. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the side of the hand. Even though I have felt so stuck and powerless, I'm beginning to wonder if this freeze response has been trying to help me. Even though I've hated feeling this way, I'm open to the possibility that it wasn't my fault. Even though I've blamed myself for being frozen, I'm starting to see how my body might have been protecting me all along. Good. Top of the head. Maybe this wasn't failure. Eyebrow. Maybe it's my body's way of saying not safe yet. Side of the eye. What if this stillness was a shield, not a defect? Under the eye. Maybe my system just needed to stop to survive. Under the nose. I didn't choose to shut down. My body chose safety. Under the mouth. It was trying to save me from overwhelm. Collarbone. And I can start to soften toward that part of me. Under the arm. Maybe I can thank it for helping me get through. Top of the head. It doesn't need to work so hard anymore. Eyebrow. I can begin to listen to what it needs. Side of the eye. I wasn't ready yet. I didn't have the tools to move forward. Under the arm, under the eye. And I can bring warmth to the frozen places. Under the nose. I'm allowed to understand instead of judge. Collarbone. Under the mouth. I'm allowed to meet myself with compassion. Now, collarbone. Nice breath here. And I really want to roll in what one of you guys said recently under the arm. Let me go back up to that. What if it's okay if I fall and no one's there to catch me? Side of the hand. What if I trust that the universe will always be there to catch me? And now I'd like to roll in what you guys are feeling here. Just one more round on the top of the head, feeling more openness in my chest. Eyebrow. Feeling so refreshed. Side of the eye. I needed to cry. Under the eye. I needed to acknowledge it. Under the nose. I'm getting more and more ready to move. Under the mouth. And if I make the wrong decision, What if it's not life or death? Collarbone, even when it's overwhelming. What if it's not actually life or death? My body may feel like it is sometimes, but what if it's not? And let's just do a little bit of havening with that phrase that you liked. I'm bringing warmth to the frozen parts of me. And we're tuning in again. We're tuning in. Look at your sud. Feel into your body. I'm looking at all of your faces and sensing your energy. See how things may or may not be shifting for you. If there's something in there that's holding that sud in place, that's just like, nope, I am not going to thaw out. I will stay frozen. It is not safe. Please let me know. Please let me know because you're probably not alone in that. And I always find it really helpful and expansive when I can see that other people in the group are in the same place that I'm at. 9 to 2, very nice. Good, good, good. Flowing down the stream. The dam has broken. I love that. That's a great way to put it. Beautiful. Yeah, my body said it was enough. I had to stop. Now I need to listen. I need to let it heal. This is a frozen that was protection. Man, see, look at these shifts. EFT is magic. And for those of you who don't like that, EFT is science. Either way it works. 6 to 1. Holy cow. Okay. And if your sets haven't dropped that much, no judgment, no expectation. There's still just something that needs to be acknowledged and welcomed and thanked and loved, all of those things. So much to share here. Okay, let me get my cursor to work for me so I can see. Yeah, living up to what other people may have said you were, even subconsciously. Now you get to decide consciously who you are, and through tapping, tell your subconscious also. EFT is magical science. So true. I feel safe to prioritize myself. Good. Thank you for sharing. There's something I still don't trust. Even though I've widened my circle of safety, I feel it in my hamstrings. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. A cooling sensation flowing all the way down the trunk of my body, 10 to 2, 10 to 8. Not sure what I let go of because I can't find it. I love it. That's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to honor the people who still feel like there's something I still don't trust. Okay, that's okay. We're going to honor that and we're going to go ahead and move into a little bit of reframing to see if we can just move from resistance into some curiosity, maybe a little bit more understanding. That's all we're doing. We're just softening a little bit. So first we're going to validate the protection because I think a lot of you have already recognized it was obviously here to protect me. I wasn't ready. I needed to stop. I needed to heal. So let's just go there and see what happens for you in your body. Even though this freeze response feels frustrating, I honor the part of me that learned to pause as protection. Good. Even though I've judged myself for being stuck, I can see how this was my body's wisdom keeping me safe. Good. Even though it sometimes feels powerless, I'm beginning to understand this was power. The power to survive. Good. Top of the head. This part kept me safe when things felt too much. Eyebrow. It wasn't failure, it was wisdom. Side of the eye. My system knew how to keep me safe. Under the eye. I don't need to rush or fix this. Under the nose. I can honor my body for all it's done. Under the mouth. Thank you for protecting me. Collarbone. You don't have to do it alone anymore. Under the arm. It's okay to start feeling again. Top of the head. Just to reinforce, my body knew what to do. Eyebrow. It knew how to keep me safe. Side of the eye. This freeze was intelligence, not weakness. Under the eye. And it gave me time to survive. Under the nose. I don't have to rush my healing. Under the mouth. And I can move at my pace of safety. Collarbone. Safety before action. Under the arm. And I'm learning to trust my rhythm again. I'd love to just move into a final round here of reconnecting to the body. Because oftentimes, I think one of you even mentioned, I can't feel my body, I disconnect from my body, I leave my body. So allowing your body to feel, your mind to feel safe enough to embody, to be there, to potentially feel the disappointment of making the wrong decision, to potentially feel the fear of what if, to allow yourself to feel safe enough in your body, knowing that you have the tools to get yourself out of fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Every single one of them. Tapping will get you out of those trauma responses and get you into your body. So that's where I'd love to go next. I just want to check the chat, make sure that I'm acknowledging everybody. It's a big boulder blocking the stream. Yeah, there's more work to be done here, and we'll definitely acknowledge that. It was hard to say it might not be life or death because it really is life and death. Okay, so in certain situations, it absolutely is. And I want you to change those words for you if it actually is life or death for you. But our bodies often have those paper tigers. They think they're actually being chased by a tiger and they're not. But if it really is life and death for you, I want you to honor that. Don't think that my words have to be your truth. And yeah, sometimes failure is an ingredient in the pie of wisdom for sure. And you get right back up again. Good, much more safe and to feel my feelings. Good, and today. Good, already. Beautiful. So just in a short amount of time, there's been some wonderful shifts. So just tuning into that wonderful cooling sensation. You guys are already getting back into your body, allowing yourselves to feel those things. So let's just do one final round to really solidify, anchor in, reinforce that it's safe to reconnect to the body. And if it's not for you, change the words. All right. Even though it sometimes feels hard to be in my body, I'm open to feeling just a little bit more presence today. Even though I sometimes want to disconnect, I choose to breathe and feel the ground beneath me. Even though I have been frozen, I can thaw gently and safely. Good. top of the head, feeling my feet on the ground. And if your feet aren't on the ground, feel your bum in your seat. Eyebrow, and letting my breath move through me. Let's take a moment here on the eyebrow just to do that. Side of the eye, waking up to tiny sensations. Under the eye, warmth, tingling, aliveness. Under the nose, I can feel safe in my body. Under the mouth, it's okay to move slowly. Collarbone, my body remembers how to flow. Under the arm, and safety is returning. Good. Top of the head, open to new movement, new energy, new life. Eyebrow, choosing to trust my body's timing. Side of the eye, and I'm ready to welcome flow again. Under the eye, life energy wants to move through me. Under the nose, flow doesn't mean forcing. Under the mouth, and I can trust my natural rhythm. Collarbone, I am thawing, awakening, returning. Under the arm, and I'm reconnecting with possibility. Let's just place the hands over the heart for a moment, saying movement can be gentle, and it's safe to come alive again. So right here, if you can close your eyes, if that feels good for you, just notice what shifted, even subtly. Is there more warmth in your chest and your hands? Is there more movement? Can you feel your blood coursing through your veins, your energy coursing through your meridians? Or are you just feeling more present in your space right now? And what does your body want to remember from this experience right now? Getting ideas of what to do next. Beautiful. Flowing down the stream. I love it. Feeling better. Good. I can stand at the edge and it's safe to look and back away. Easy peace, easy flow. I love it. I want to do one final thing just to bring in some chi, some life force energy, energy shifting in the body. Good. This is what I like to do sometimes when I feel frozen. Just rub your hands together like Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid. Start to feel the energy, the heat in your hands. So we're bringing in a little bit of yang energy here, or yang, however you want to pronounce it, from whatever part of the world you live in. This is that high intensity, warm, hot, hot, hot energy. And then once you feel that begin to build up, then we move into a slow yin energy with your spiritual facial. Just bringing that warmth over your eyes, holding it there, reminding yourself that you're alive, that you're here in this precious, precious existence as a spiritual being having a human experience. And acknowledging it's not always easy. And then bringing your hands down to your heart. But thankfully, you have a really effective tool and the support of everyone in this community to help you through the times when it's not so easy. I don't have to have all the answers. Beautiful possibilities exist. What a lovely shift for some of you. I identified that boulder. Beautiful. Box it up for now. We can work on it later for sure. Feeling more empowered. That's awesome. What a wonderful note to end on, everyone. Is everyone feeling okay? Does that feel good? Awesome. Okay, so for those of you that haven't joined the Facebook community, please feel free to do that. It'll be in the email with this replay that I send out probably tomorrow. That's where we vote on every month's emotional theme. So if you want to have a say on what it is we tap on in November, please join the Facebook community and stay tuned to your inbox because I will be announcing huge savings for you guys before the end of the year. I would love to work with each and every one of you. And if you've ever wanted to work with me individually, now is the time. All right, I'm going to stop recording. Bye, everyone. See you next month.